What's up, guys? We have a big video today. We're going to be going through our top 25 rap features of all time. We have 50 years of this genre plus to go through and pick out the best ever features. We're going to be reading them out 5 at a time. We're going to give you our honorable mentions right before number 1. But before we actually get started, let us know in the comments what is the best rap feature of all time in your opinion, and which all-time list should we do next. And let's get into this. I'm not going to lie to you. This was a tough one to put together.
There's so
I've
many.
never had so many honorable mentions for a list like ever.
Well,
in
listen,
any
for my
list.
honorable mentions, I narrowed it down to 7.
Wow.
I didn't do like 15 to 20. I didn't do like a whole other top 50
I have
list.
like almost a whole nother top 50 list, bro. Yeah.
No, obviously, there's a lot of shit that I could have included. The way that I picked these out, man, I went through previous lists from other publications, stuff that I may have not remembered in a long time, revisited them, decided if it was worthy of my list or not, and if I found that the feature was a top 25. Then there was the obvious ones that I started to kind of like plug and play with the top 25 list, and I'm happy with it, to be honest with you. I think that if I look at my honorable mentions, for example, and I'm going to get to that right before we unveil the top 5 towards the end of the episode, I could kind of interchange these with anything between like the 25 to 20, to be honest with
I
you.
feel you. There's not much like separating.
This is really like a fine line, you know, and to be honest with you, maybe these opinions change, but for today, my picks are final and they're solid. How did you go about deciding your list for today?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. There's definitely some features that are very influential, very iconic, and not to say that I didn't look at that at all. I did factor that into some of my picks, but for the most part, it was more of a decision of like how impressive are these verses on their own? What did they do to like really most of the time like outshine the main artist? Like, that was a big talking point for me.
Or it was for me too, like I like the outshine conversation, but there's also moments where there's a display of chemistry that can't be found on any other feature.
That's facts.
So I think I have a couple of picks on here where I'm like, okay, he didn't necessarily outshine said artist, but when I look at this collaboration and how goated it is and how much they equally contributed, I think that's a flawless feature, right? So I think I went into it with that mentality. Era didn't really matter, but I did find myself leaning more towards the 2000s and the 1990s, to be honest with you. But with that being said, shall we start?
Let's get into it. This is going to be our number 25 to 21. You can go first, bro.
Okay, let me do this. 25 to
List yours
21. Let's do this, okay? Number 25, 50 Cent on Hate It or Love It. I brought that in.
Nice.
Number 24, Lupe Fiasco on Touch the Sky.
Nice.
Number 23, Jay-Z on Diamonds from Sierra Leone Remix. Number 22, Nicki Minaj on Monster.
Wow.
And number 21, Ghostface Killah on Ice Cream.
Very nice.
Yeah,
okay.
that's going to be the 25 to 21.
This is such an interesting selection for you because I don't have a single one of those features on my list,
my God,
bro.
Jeez, bro.
But let me know which ones you don't have on yours from mine.
Let's do it.
Number 25 is going to be Drake on Stay Schemin' by Rick Ross.
Almost made it. Honorable mention.
Number 24 is Andre 3000 on International Players Anthem by UGK.
I have it higher.
Number 23, Black Thought on Super Lyrical by Big Pun.
Wonderful feature.
Number 22 is Kendrick Lamar, Nostalgia by Pusha T. And number 21, Black Thought again, this time for Crown for Kings by Benny the Butcher. All right, bro. I got to talk about Nicki on Monster because this is one that I was looking at and I'm like, I love what she does in terms of just how exuberant the performance is, how much energy she puts into the delivery, has the iconic factor. But I don't know. I guess maybe just verse for verse, it didn't compete with some of the other ones I have on my list.
I think
but
this doesn't strive on the lyricism side of front, but I think it really strives on her display of just being so animated with so many different, I would say, top players on that song. But if you really look at that cast of rappers with Rick Ross, Kanye, Jay-Z, a lot of those guys were still in their prime. And the fact that Nicki Minaj entered one of the best rap albums of the 2010s decade, had the best verse on arguably one of the better posse cuts of the 2010s decade. Such a memorable verse also because of everything she did, from the grunts and the moans to how animated she was at also such a young age in her career. To me, I can't really find another feature that did that besides something that maybe placed in my top 5. I really appreciate what Nicki did here because she proved that not only could she out-rap some of the best rappers, and to be fair, I look at that Jay-Z verse, I don't think it's his best. I look at Rick Ross, I could do without it. But regardless, though, usually posse cuts are competitions. So if you're going to play on that level and you're going to come out not only with one of the best verses out of that entire album, but the best verse out of your entire career, I think that's absolutely, like, that solidifies it for me. Like, I can't really look at that and be like,
Yeah.
Okay, that's not deserving of place on my list. And I could argue it's the best feature and one of the best rap albums of all time, bro. I could really
Valid.
say that.
Fucking valid.
Therefore, listen, I think from the technical standpoint, obviously she's very braggadocious. There's cool wordplay. I don't think it's like up to par with my top 5.
Yeah.
But it's going to crack the 25 to 21
For sure.
selections.
All
right, talk to me about some of your selections.
Yeah, I'll talk about Drake at number 25 just because when I was making this entire list, I didn't really have him in that top 25. This almost felt like a government-mandated inclusion because I was looking at my list and I'm like, Drake is one of the best feature rappers of all time. I'm going to feel like a bozo if I don't have him anywhere on my list. And then I'm like, that Stay Scheming verse is dangerous. Once Drake has some type of opponent to go at within a verse, it just ends up bringing out the best of him
as well for a lot of different rap fans from that era as well. Like you could say it's one of the most memorable rap features of that decade.
It is for sure. I mean, talk about quotables on top of quotables, right? Like it bothers me when the gods start to acting like the broads and bitch you wasn't shooting with me in the gym. Like so many quotables, and like I said, anytime that Drake has a foe to go at, it brings out this different type of energy, and he absolutely spazzed on here. So I had to bring it in.
Wonderful.
For sure.
Okay, let me talk about GFK because Ghostface Killah is someone with an extensive feature catalog. And for me, I narrowed it down to 3 different features.
Bro,
okay?
Fourth Chamber is one that I would have put over Ice Cream.
But that's it.
Like.
I had Fourth Chamber, and I was even considering Criminology.
Yeah.
When I did the analyzation with the Genius pages in front of me, when I was looking at the Ice Cream rhyme scheme, I felt like it was better prepared and it was better executed on Ice Cream. I also feel like when you compare it to Fourth Dimension's verse is attached
Fourth
shorter.
Chamber, you mean, yeah.
Fourth Chamber, excuse me. Fourth Dimension on my notes, bro. I'm an idiot. And then after that, when I compared it, it wasn't even between Fourth Chamber and Ice Cream. It was between Ice Cream and Criminology.
Wow.
Like that first verse on Criminology is fucking goated. That's a top 3 GFK feature verse of all time, in my opinion. I think it came down to those 3. I felt like he was the most animated and the most menacing on that beat. I also felt like that production kind of fit him better than the fourth Chamber one. Just my opinion.
I disagree.
But that's a toss-up. And I also found that Ice Cream is a better collaboration than Fourth Chamber as a whole. That's my reasoning.
I don't know, man.
That's my reasoning. But you can't say it's not close between those 3.
Yeah,
it comes
is
down to
close.
Criminology, comes down to Fourth Chamber, and then it comes down to Ice Cream. So that's my pick.
One that I want to talk about for sure. I mean, listen, I have 2 Black Thought selections, right? And I think that Black Thought and Super Lyrical, that was a huge one. That was like his breakthrough verse where the roots weren't really popping off yet, and then Big Pun gave him the opportunity on the album. And this was in 1998, and it's like, you have a chance to show off that you're one of the best, and he was up for that challenge, bro. And the metaphors, the multis make your head spin. And in my opinion, he was able to out-rap Big Pun, which is, it's not an easy feat, bro. Like 99% of rappers today can't achieve to out-rap someone of that Big Pun caliber. So it always impressed me on that level. And then Crown for Kings was one that, to me, was always his best feature, even if it came out later in his career. It's him like traveling back in time to Philly with lyrics like, any image we took, not a father was in the picture. There was times not a bite nor swallow was in the kitchen. Just painting a vivid picture of how he grew up and kind of a come-up story with some extravagant bars. And it just, I love Benny, but he got murdered on this, bro. That's just one of those songs.
Yeah, it is, but you're talking about a top-tier lyricist, but those are all wonderful.
Yep.
Shall we continue with this?
I'm ready to continue, bro. Let's fucking do it.
Let's do this. So this is going to be 20 to 16, ladies and gentlemen. My list goes like this. Kendrick on Nostalgia, number 20. So we could talk about that because it was close to yours. Number 19, Eminem on Forgot About Dre. 18, Andre 3K on International Players Anthem. Number 17, Biggie on Flavor in Your Ear. And number 16, J-Rock on Money Trees.
Nice.
Okay, what do you got?
Now we got some in common here. J-Rock on Money Trees by Kendrick at number 20. Number 19 is going to be Tupac on Smile by Scarface. Number 18, this is where I have Conway the Machine on The Cow by West Side Gun. Number 17 is where I have J. Cole on Johnny P's Caddy by Benny the Butcher. It cracked the list. And number 16 is where I have Andre 3000 once again on 16 by Rick Ross.
Okay, you know what? I have a lot of those higher.
You have a lot of those higher?
I have a lot of those higher.
Wow.
So we could talk about those, but let's talk about Kendrick on Nostalgia.
Let's talk about it, man, yeah.
Shout out to Dissect Podcast. He did a wonderful job of breaking down this feature verse and just paying a close attention to all the wordplay and all like the quadruple entendres, bro, low-key within this verse, bro. It's such a menacing cadence from Kendrick as well. It's goated, it's aggressive, and I think it's a top 2 feature in his catalog.
100%. I'm happy
2.
we're on the same page. There's going to be debate about what his best is, and I think we have the same one that's going to come up later.
Yeah, much later, for sure.
And yeah, speaking about nostalgia, I just love that you had Kendrick rapping over like this eerie boom bap beat. Like it felt like a challenge for him. It felt new in terms of production style for him. And like you were mentioning, like once you check out that dissect breakdown and it's
You'll
all
never
laid
see it
out,
ever again
the way
the
that
same
every
way.
verse is a brick. And the way that he lays that out.
And the conversation he's having with his father, but also at the same time, the rap game and the double parallel there. I think it's such a fucking goated
the
verse.
number wordplay, like flipping
Crazy.
words like attention, tension, extensions, like unreal, bro.
For sure. When it comes down to Andre 3K, though, let's talk about 3 stacks. So, International Players Anthem. Some people might want to see this higher.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do think 16 is a better feature verse for
is.
sure. Even I was doing a dissect on because there's the breakdown, YouTube page that does all the rhyme scheme breakdowns, and I was looking at the 16 one, and I'm like, honestly, bro, like this is miles ahead of this. Like I can't even.
It is.
I can't put them like 1 and 2 either. Like this has to be in 2 different percentiles of the list.
I think it's just that like International Players Anthem is like that's the jam, bro. Like that's just the better song at the end of the day, right? You have like one of the most soulful productions.
And I think it's because of how many people like hold that passage from Andre at the beginning of that track so close to their heart, and how triumphant it is. And then after that, obviously, bass drops, UGK comes in, and then they rip the rest of the track.
Kill
It's
it, bro.
fucking incredible.
Better song, but as a performance and feature, no, 16
No, for sure,
is
absolutely.
much stronger. Yeah.
Biggie on Flavor and your crazy wordplay, bro, crazy smooth cadence, and this is not gonna be the last Biggie feature I have on this list.
Yeah, honestly, this was actually an honorable mention for me, bro. Like, I really wanted to bring it in.
This is a
couldn't,
goated
bro.
fucking verse for me, bro.
Fucking UPS is hiring,
Crazy.
bro.
Oh my god, bro, this is a bro. One of my favorite lines in all of hip hop. UPS is fucking hiring, bro.
I know.
That is absolutely
Legendary.
crazy. You're mad because my style. You're admiring. Don't be mad. UPS is hiring. Should have been a cop. Fuck hip hop. With that lifestyle, you're bound to get shot. Not from Houston, but I rap a lot, bro. What are we talking about here?
Crazy. But again, there's better Biggie features to me. That's all it is.
There's one more for me. There's one better Biggie feature for me, and it's going to be coming up very shortly.
There's 2 for me. We could debate once we get there.
J-Rock on Money Trees. We have that combo.
We have that in common. Yeah, just one of those verses where, again, this term is fucking used way too often, but it applies so well here. He's rapping like the rent is due.
Hey, we coined that first. We put out that one line.
Were we first? Like, it's been used like so much now.
I'm just saying we're first, but I think we definitely brought a resurgence to it for sure.
For sure.
Because our one-liner was being used like huge mega viral posts. For a bunch of
it went
different
absolutely crazy.
but anyways, to talk about this verse, the only reason why, like, I was like, man, maybe did it lose a couple of points? And then you find out that Kendrick wrote it to a certain extent.
Yeah,
right?
that's like the heavy
writing.
rumor is that, Kendrick wrote that
And
verse.
I could kind of see it, bro, because, like, when you have Kendrick Lamar to your disposal, it's like, bro, just come here. You could dedefinitely help me fix something.
Well, listen,
right?
we're not going to have sticks up our asses. We're not going to devalue because of
the
that. It
passion
hasn't
of-
been 100% confirmed. And like you were about to say, his delivery, his passion, the cadence,
the quotables
everything
on this,
is
bro, for sure.
Yeah.
Incredible. There's people that could rap this verse word for word, and this is a situation where he low key
got the better of Kendrick. Yeah.
on a goated Kendrick Lamar song.
Yeah.
A top 10 Kendrick Lamar song of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah. Just the hunger, bro.
I'm just gonna say that this is really a goated fucking feature for me. So
yeah, just pure fucking hunger on that one. But I want to talk about Conway. Did you have Conway in this list?
bro,
You got him way higher?
if I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Wow. Okay, so you know what? I'll save the convo. Okay.
You're gonna have to really save this.
I'm gonna
convo.
honestly. I think all the other ones you have later on your list. So that's it for me. Anything else before
I think
we move
we're
on?
good. I think what are we
Okay.
doing? 15 to 11 now?
15 to 11. What do you got?
Okay, 15, Biggie on Brooklyn's Finest. Brought that in there. Number 14, Jay-Z on Dear Summer. Number 13, Rick Ross on Devil in a New Dress. 12, Capital C's on Survival Tactics. And 11, Andre 3K on 16.
That's where it lands. Okay.
Yeah, that's where it's going to land. What do you got?
Interesting picks.
What do you got?
There's gonna be one that it's gonna be an interesting conversation. I feel like you should have brought it in, but we'll see. 15 is gonna be Rick Ross on Devil in a New Dress by Kanye West.
Okay, so similar placement.
Yeah. 14, this is where I have a Biggie feature that I think is better than Flavor in Your remix. Not by much, but this is Victory by Diddy.
I was considering it. Honorable mention for me.
Yeah. Number 13, this is the one I was talking about. Nate Dogg on Regulate by Warren G, bro. One of the greatest features
Save
of
that
all.
combo.
Oh, I gotta say, okay.
You gotta save that car. You put it that low? Oh, ooh, that's a sticky take, bro.
So that means I'm gonna have a lot higher, like a lot of my higher picks. You're not gonna have on your list.
That's okay. Anyways,
That's
keep going.
interesting.
Finishing it off. No.
I'm gonna finish it off. So, let me restart. 15, Rick Ross, Devil New Dress. 14, Biggie on Victory. 13, Nate Dogg on Regulate. 12 is Capital Steez on Survival Tactics. And 11, maybe this is one that you left off. Snoop Dogg on Nothing But a G Thing by Dr. Dre.
Bro, these are too low.
You have all of these?
I have all of these.
So that means there's going to be some in my top 10 that you don't have.
That I might not have. Wow. And there's some in my top 10 that you might not have as well.
Yeah, that's wild. Okay, so I'm curious now.
I need you for Regulate, Nothing But a G Thing. Save those conversations.
Yeah, so let's talk. You had Rick Ross in this section,
yes,
right?
absolutely. I think he was going to place here regardless.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Some people might argue that he deserves to be higher. But, okay, first of all, Andre 3K's verse on 16, bro, from a technicality standpoint, Loki wipes it. I'm just going to say that, bro, from like the rhyme scheme. Really check out this rhyme scheme. It's one of the best put together verses in like 3 Stacks' entire career, bro.
It is insane, but I mean, listen, you're going to something different for the Rick Ross verse, right?
But for me, it's like, I put this on, I feel like I'm in a Maybach. And I got like my velvet suit on, bro. And
I
like,
feel like a fucking boss listening to this song, bro.
Like I should be lighting up a Monte Cristo and pouring myself a Dalmore, you know? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I
think this is like the peak of luxury hip hop is this verse.
I think a Dirty
you
Gin
single
Martinis,
it down to this verse.
For sure.
Yeah, I've never wanted to smoke a joint in the backseat of a Maybach until listening to this feature.
Yeah, like you order steak to this shit. Like there's really nothing else to say about this. It feels like you won in life. It feels like you have this built-up momentum of being an underdog your entire life, and now you're sitting on top, and now you could finally eat that Chilean sea bass in peace.
It's opulence. It's luxury.
Absolutely. You could put a Rolex on.
It's extravagance.
Yeah, you want to go out and you want to spend your mortgage on a tennis bracelet.
Yeah.
Maybe not even for you, but for your girlfriend. That's the way I feel about this verse.
Yeah.
There's honestly, like, you don't even have to go through the bars, bro. Like, everyone knows this fucking verse. It's goated. It has to be top 15.
New Mercedes sedan, the Lex Sport. Oh,
crazy.
Man,
like,
insane.
you know, there's some people that, like, I see on Twitter saying, oh, if you fuck with MBDF, you're basic, but you're still bumping that. It's 2025.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I am.
Second best feature
Absolutely.
list of all time.
Who the fuck doesn't want to bump My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy? How could you make fun of someone for bumping such a goated fucking album when you're getting verses like this? You're boring.
Also,
I get it. You're trying to be different.
Give me more Rick Ross over Motown samples and some Mike Dean strings,
God.
bro.
Yeah, let's do it.
Why hasn't he repeated the recipe at this point?
Because I feel like maybe he thought that it was so goated that he can never touch that
Yeah,
again.
he never tried to replicate
Loki
it.
has crazy luxury verses his entire career, like a Santorini, for example.
Yeah, but anyways, let's get off that. So Regulate, you said to save Survival Tactics. I had a 12. You had a what, 11 or 12? Same
12 was
spot.
perfect. Barely cracked into the top 10, but one of the most passionate and complete verses I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, this verse is fucking insane, bro. Like, this is how most people discovered Capital Steez, and this feature alone made him enter the conversation of being like the chosen one for his generation, and showed the promise for him to be one of the top dogs of the 2010s. Like, that's how powerful this was, and I just feel like he entered a whole new level of consciousness, bro, with this feature.
Yeah, he was just showing how you could be so fly in the way that you deliver these verses and have so much style, but at the same time have so much substance. Like, if Obama got that president election, then PE boys about to make an intervention. Fuck what I once said. I want the bloodshed. Because nowadays, for respect, you gotta pump lead. I guess Columbine was listening to Shaka Khan, and Pokemon wasn't getting recognized at Comic-Con. Bro, what the fuck?
Bro,
what is this,
the best one, bro. King Arthur when he swung his sword. A King Arthur. I ain't even use a pen in like a month or 4.
Even the way that he starts off this verse,
God.
it's like 6 million ways to die. My guy, choose one. Doomsday coming. Start investing in a few guns. Crazy.
Dumb.
Out of this world.
It was dumb,
yeah,
bro.
It was
There's multiple rhyme schemes. The flow switches. Insanity. He literally left Earth on this song, bro. Like, insane.
Crazy. So let's talk about 103 Stacks on 16.
Yeah.
Now that we could speak about it, because we had it. Well, you had it in the 19 to 15 range. I have it here, very close and very similar. This is the one. This is the one besides the other one, which I'm going to be talking about very soon.
Yeah.
That I think that, you know, hey,
listen,
this is a special verse, bro.
Bro, this is like, it feels like it took a lifetime of reflection to get this verse, bro. Because he's obviously traveling back to when he was like 14 years old, and the verse is about how we kind of lose our innocence and our perception of the world from childhood to adulthood changes drastically as there's more pain, grief, trauma, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, even like lust and excess that comes into it, and how it taints your view as you get older. Also incredible, because he's basically saying, like, how could I put all of my life's pain into like one verse, which is a 16, and that's the whole concept of the song. Very long in runtime as well. You know, I love that because, example, I look back at the Flavor in Your Ear remix by Biggie. Yes, it's very iconic and it's like an assassin type of feature, but it's a shorter verse. So I really value verses that are longer. Like, I'm going to be talking about some of these verses in my top 10 that should low-key be songs of their own. And I really feel like 3 Stacks did such a good job on this. So
and I had it at 16. You had it where?
At 11.
Yeah, that's very fair. This could have gone higher for me,
sure.
honestly.
Biggie on Brooklyn's Finest.
Save it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to save it.
You're gonna save that one.
All right. Do you want to do the 10 to 6 now, right?
We're now at 10 to 6. Here we go.
All right. So at number 10, I have Nas on Verbal Intercourse. At number 9, I have J. Cole on Johnny P's Caddy. At number 8, I have Conway the Machine on The Cow. At number 7, I have Kendrick Lamar on Control. And at number 6, I have Busta Rhymes on Scenario.
There you go.
That's what I'm gonna have for my 10 to 6.
All right. Number 10, you had this much lower. I think it's a bit better than what you had it at. This is Eminem on Forgot About Dre by Dr. Dre.
Okay.
Number 9, this might be the most underrated feature that I have on this entire list. This is going to be Inspected Deck on Above the Clouds.
Beautiful
Incredible fucking verse. Number 8 is where I have Biggie on Brooklyn's Finest by Hove. Number 7, another exact same position as you, Kendrick Lamar on Control by Big Sean. And number 6, this is where I have Andre 3000 on Life of the Party by Ye.
Incredible.
Johnny P's Caddy made that push. I love to see it, bro.
Yeah, it has to make that
I love it.
Bro. I think it's, well, listen, when we did our list for the top 10 features of the 2020s decade, this was number 2 for me. So, like, if it's a top 2 of a set decade, how the fuck am I not going to have it in my top 10? That's the way that I figured it out. I think out of any other verse that I have included here from a feature artist, this one probably has some of the best technicals and like word schemes that I've probably had, next to like the Nostalgias, for example. And even like the rhyme pattern, bro, is up to par with a 16 from Andre 3K. I think there's just so much like, when I listen to Nostalgia, it strives in like the wordplay and the entendres. When I listen to a 16, it strives on the rhyme scheme and like the feeling of triumphantness. Like, I feel like this Johnny P's Caddy verse strives everywhere, bro. It feels triumphant. It's relatable. It's technical. The wordplay's on point. It's long, bro. It feels like it should have been his song. I'm sorry, bro. Like, this is a top 10 rap feature of all time in my opinion.
It felt like a rebirth for hip hop. It felt like a rebirth for J. Cole. Like, it was just him making a statement of like, this is the bar that we need to set. This is the standard for elite rapping, and I'm going to remind you. And it's funny because we did a video not too long after it came out. This was like towards the end of 2022. And I said to everyone, every rapper, you guys had the whole year to drop a better verse and no one could fucking do it. Well, I'm going to say that for right now in hip-hop. There's been 3 years of music that's come out and no one has dropped a better verse than J. Cole on Johnny P's Caddy.
It's on that level.
It's
and
fucking
when I
insane.
was looking at it, I was just like, you know what? It has to be top 10. I think there's better verses as a whole, and there's ones that are maybe a bit more emotional. I really like the emotional feature verses as well, but this had to be in there. Nas on Verbal Intercourse. Like
Save it.
Yeah, we save it. Yeah,
Save
that
that
had
one.
to make top 10 for me. Conway the Machine on The Cow.
Let's talk about that. I had that at number 18, I believe.
For me, bro, this is one of those verses that could like bring you to tears, bro. Like when you're listening to this verse, you feel like you could possibly do anything you want to. If there's an obstacle in life, this is the medicine to get over it. And that's what I go to hip hop for. When you hear Conway the Machine's story, bro, and when you hear about the loved ones that he's lost in his life, or how he's had to witness a family member of his get killed, bro, and that he wasn't able to find out who the killer was, and he lived in all this grief, and how he had to find God through that. He got shot himself. He was willing to quit on rap. It just makes you realize, like, bro, this guy is the heartbeat to Griselda.
Yep.
That's the way that I feel about this verse. It got real once this verse dropped.
Like, this is one of the best underdog, like, inspirational hip-hop verses that you'll ever hear. And I think that what's special about it, too, is that he has, like, double the runtime of West Side Gun, even though it's a West Side Gun song. Like, he really took it over as he was meant to do. And he's unloading everything, bro, on here, like you said. And
this part here just gets, bro, I have goosebumps going on now, bro. When he talks about his cousin Machine Gun Black, who ended up passing away, he says, maybe God doesn't want me to kill the guys and doing time. Maybe God wanted me here to kill them with the rhyme. Maybe that was a part of his plan and a part of the design. I don't know. I'm not religious. All I know is that I'm viciously gifted when I script and then it's strictly for my guys. Like, bro, like what
Chills,
are we talking about
chills,
here?
yeah.
Like, this is a different type of
And
like.
he literally says, this is the realest shit I've ever written, and it's facts, bro.
And then he's bro, literally like pop the spade cork back like Machine Gun. We did it, bro. Like talking to like your dead relatives and saying we did it and we made it and we got it. For me, like,
Insane.
nah, it's a different level of emotion that went into this. Like, I know it might not be as technical as a Johnny P's Caddy, but to me, the length of this verse and how much he put into it.
Yep.
You know what's funny? I wanted to quit after I got shot in my head. I seen my face and I'm like, I'm done with this shit. Oh my god, bro! Trying to spit my verses and mumbling and shit, face twisted up, looking ugly and shit, bro. It just feels like.
Yeah, no.
Like all the pain, bro, of like losing a loved one, losing your mobility and half your fucking face, and still becoming one of the better and most successful rappers out of Buffalo.
Yeah, it's one of the rawest hip hop verses ever, especially
bro,
on an
stupid.
emotional level. Insane. But I want to talk about Eminem and forgot about Drake because you had it way earlier. Why not have it sooner? Because this verse to me achieves something that's fucking special. It achieves the same thing that 50 Cent achieved on Hater to Love It, where it's like not only do you have this exceptional verse, but you also have that same artist really putting the whole song together as they add the hook in as well. And that's what Eminem does and forgot about Dre. He even wrote Dr. Dre's part on this song. And, bro, this is Eminem rapping like a fucking maniac, bro. This is literally him rapping like a maniac, giving you that cartoonish, Slim Shady character that we love to hear. You have these cinematic sound effects with a dog barking, with him strangling the guy in the parking lot. The whole chicka 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 Slim Shady. How did I sweat twin babies?
I just felt like there was better written verses from that standpoint within like my list. And I feel like I could find these these Eminem verses in like his solo catalog as well. I think it's a goated verse, and I think it's up there. But I do think he's delivered better verses in his career, and I have a feature that I think is night and day with it. So that's why I had it at number 19 instead of putting it in my top 10. I still think it's one of the best of all time.
I think it's low, bro.
No, I think it's pretty fair.
In terms of just like in terms of just presence and like energy.
I have like J Rock on Money Trees in front of it, like big, maybe not Biggie on Flavor in Your Ear. That's another one, but even that bro, like that's a similar type of verse.
I don't know.
Jay-Z on Dear Summer, bro. That's one that I didn't even talk about. That's a whole fucking song in itself, but he's featured on it. That's a feature.
Kind of, yeah, a little cheat code there you found.
It's
yeah,
a whole fucking
loophole.
song for sure.
Yeah,
bowing out of the game and thanking Summer. Anyways, all right, Kendrick Lamar in Control. We do it.
Yeah, I mean, what is there to say that we haven't said? This is a game-changing verse. It's over 10 years since it's come out, and
it's like 3 minutes long.
Yeah, bro, it's still being brought into new diss tracks. Like people are still referencing this song. It's still surviving in terms of like discourse, in person, online, whatever the case may be.
Brought so much competitive nature into the hip hop industry as well.
I've never witnessed rappers getting hurt over not being mentioned in someone else's verses. And keep in mind that like Kendrick was like the new kid on the block, bro. Like he had just released his major label debut album when this came out, and like people were angry that he didn't name drop them, bro. Like
even
talk about
like
power, bro.
And dissing coasts and saying I'm Machiavelli's offspring. I'm the king of New York, king of one coast, one hand. I
juggle them both.
Incredible, bro. Then after that, even like the rhyme scheme here, the juggernauts all in your jugular, take me for jokes. Live in the basement, church pews, and funeral faces. Like, bro, what are we talking about here? There's no this. Oh my god, bro, this Phil Jackson bar. If Phil Jackson came back, still no coaching me, bro. Crazy.
Yeah, and that's the thing I want to say is that like listen, impact isn't the primary factor for me making my selections, but this is one of the greatest just because he murdered this verse, bro, from a rhyme level. That's the reason why I don't have Scenario by Busta Rhymes in my list. I don't have it because I feel like it has that impact and that influence level. But when I listen to that verse and I break it down, I like the energy, but does it compete with anything else on my list? Not really, bro.
Yeah, but Busta Rhymes on Scenario, that's a whole different verse, bro. We're talking about one of the greatest hip-hop verses of all time.
I don't think it's top 25.
Oh, my God, bro.
I don't think it's top 25.
Stupid, dude.
Again, I love the presence. I love the energy, but...
Verse, bro. Heal up, wheel up, bring it back, come rewind, powerful impact from the cannon, not bragging, trying to read my mind. Just imagine like the rhyme scheme and the rate at which he's rapping at. Bro, the technicalities on this verse, bro, it's flawless.
Honorable mention, but not top 25
for me. Like, this is a goated verse, bro. I really feel like this Busta verse is one of the greatest of all time. I really do. Listening to this, dude, I was mesmerized to like going back to it, I'm like, holy fuck, bro, like this is crazy.
It's not better than
and this impact of the verse too. It's regarded as one of his best ever verses in his catalog. That's why I had it at number 6. But
not better than Capital Season Survival Tactics. Not better than J. Cole and Johnny P's Caddy.
I think so, bro.
Not
It's
better.
definitely up
No
there.
way.
It's definitely up there.
Not on any
Anyways,
level.
we do the honorable mentions.
Let's do the honorable mentions. We're about to crack into our top 5. You can go first. I'm gonna take a bit longer with mine. I have a fucking list, bro. I have a list.
Yeah, you have a whole fucking
I have
list.
a list.
I have Drake on Rick Ross's Stay Schemin'. I have GFK on Criminology, and then I was also looking at Fourth Chamber, Pusha T on Runaway. Then after that, I believe I have Fat Joe on Twins, the Deep Cover 98 remix. That was another one that I was trying to put in there. Didn't make it. I have Lil Wayne on Taking Over. I have Snoop Dogg on Still Dre. I think that's an iconic one as well. And then that's pretty much
So
it.
what are the biggest surprises from your honorable mention? In the sense of like, did you realize, holy shit, like I didn't have a Wayne feature? Because that's something that happened with me where I was like,
yeah, but
I don't
mean,
even have a Lil Wayne feature. I don't have a Jay-Z feature in my list.
I don't have a Drake feature.
Yeah.
Or a Wayne one. I just think like if you're doing this list personally and you narrow it down, you don't have certain guys. Just the way the name
That's what
goes.
it is.
Just what it is. Okay, how about yourself?
I go through mine. K-Dot on Look Over Your Shoulder, Busta Rhymes. Nas on Live at the Barbecue.
Sure, that is technically a feature.
Yeah, Pusha T, Palmolive. 50 Cent, Hater to Love It, What You Had. Drake on I'm On One, Khaled. Nicki on Monster. Biggie Flavor in Your Ear. Busta Rhymes Scenario. Look At Me Now as well for Busta Rhymes. New Godflow, Ghostface Killah, and Fourth Chamber. So Appalled, Runaway for Pusha T. Mr. Fantastic on Rap Snitch, Nishes. Big L, Yes You May remix. Jay-Z, Seen It All, and Mr. Carter. Drug Dealers Anonymous as well. Lil Wayne, We Taken Over remix. And Too Good by Tech 9, Bash Money. Dead Wrong, Eminem. Method Man on The What. Lemon as well. Auditorium, Slick Rick. And Lupe Fiasco, Touch the Sky.
Wonderful. All right, top
Top 5. This is it. What do you got?
All right, number 5, AZ on Life's a Bitch. Number 4, Nate Dogg on Regulate.
Wow,
Number
that high.
3, Snoop Dogg on Nothing But a G Thing.
Wow.
Number 2, Andre 3K on Life of the Party. And number 1, Eminem on Renegade. That's my top 5 rap
Okay,
features.
you missed some big boys in my opinion, but whatever.
Okay, let's go.
Number 5, Eminem on Patiently Waiting by 50 Cent is a top 5 rap feature for me. Number 4, Nas on Verbal Intercourse by Raekwon.
Okay, we have it.
Number 3, Capadonna on Winter Wars by Ghostface Killah.
Yeah, I was considering.
Fucking insane. A whole 32 shreds through it like it's butter. Number 2, AZ on Life's a Bitch by Nas. And number 1 had to be Eminem on Renegade by Jay-Z.
Yeah, that was
easy.
That was easy. That was number 1 right away off the bat.
No doubt. But let me talk about Patiently Waiting, bro. One that you didn't have on the list. One that I thought was as strong as top 5 on here. To me, this is better than the Forgot About Dre feature. He's got these complex rhyme schemes, but these very simple words. I love how dynamic his pronunciation is. That's one thing that Eminem always did well, is like being able to rap fast, but also articulate just as well. And you're getting a volatile Eminem on here, right? He's describing his style as a mix of like, of Big, of Pac, of Big L, and just raps about like his dedication to rap and how you got to put your life on the line to really strive to be the best in the game. And I just love that competitive spirit from him. Crazy like 9/11 bar within it. And he also produced a song, which is just a fun fact, but I just thought that, like, again, when you look at the best features of all time, Eminem is one of those guys that has multiple, bro. Like, this made me reevaluate. I had the take that J. Cole was the best feature artist ever. This made me reevaluate and say, maybe it's Eminem, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe it's fucking Eminem.
There you go.
He's
He's one of them for sure. So why I have Regulate by Warren G so up here. And Nate Dogg's feature on here. I think it's one of the most unique hip-hop features of all time. First of all, Regulate could be a top 10 hip-hop song of all time, and like I wouldn't be mad at you for placing it there. It's one of the most iconic. And what it has over a lot of these verses on my list also is not only the cinematic value, but the back and forth. And the display of chemistry, like I was saying at the beginning of this episode, is super important for me. Features are collaborations. So when I saw what Nate Dogg was doing with Warren G, mixed in with the storytelling factor of the way that he played into that, mixed in with his vocal performance and his cadence, mixed in with how iconic this collaboration is, I'm like, bro, it just knocks off every single part. Yeah, you could argue that like a Johnny P's Caddy is more technical. You could argue that like even for me, like looking at AZ on Life's a Bitch, that's one of the greatest entrances to a hip hop song of all time. No, but the reason why I have it so close is for me, like, these are iconic, songs in the hip hop industry and their staples. And what Nate Dogg did on Regulate, it also promoted a whole subgenre of hip hop to go even further at that time. So I look at that verse and I'm like, you know what? That's top 5 for me. Snoop Dogg.
Also, just to stay on that for a second, it's probably the only feature that we have on our list that has like 7 verses, bro. Like obviously they're very short, quick fire verses,
absolutely.
but like he is like a cornerstone of that song. Like you don't have Regulate without Nate Dogg. Like,
Absolutely.
so
No,
crucial.
Absolutely. And not only that, his vocals are so iconic. They had so much catchiness to the record as well. Just such a fucking goated feature. That's top 5 for me. Snoop Dogg or Nothing But a G Thing.
We know what that did.
We know what that did. Like you can't deny the impact of that. That's that's next to Renegade, the most iconic feature of all time. I think you can say that. It really promoted the genre. It was smooth, bro. It created a whole new lane for artists to come in and to produce within that subgenre. I fucking love it. We talk about AZ. We could talk about AZ. Not having this in your top 5 is criminal, bro.
Yeah, no, you
It
have
needs
to,
to be
you
a
have
top
to
5
have this in
placement.
the top 5. I mean, what's crazy to me is just like learning that this was AZ's first ever official recording. Like this was the first verse that he ever recorded, and I just love how natural everything played out in the sense that you start off with like that skit where AZ's talking to Nas about like where they should stash their coins, and then he just goes off on this realistic view of like what it's like to be living in the hood and like seeing your friends going to jail or get killed, and like just thinking about the fragility of life and how like limited our time is, and him wanting to live out his friends' dreams and be a vessel for them. Fucking beautiful, very poetic.
And it's also a very important part of this album as well, because Nas was speaking about the verse itself, and he opened up about how he felt like it was the first light point on the entire track list, and how it took a very positive turn within the content matter. And what's also
it's kind of nihilistic though. I don't feel like it's that optimistic.
No, because
like
Illmatic is a very pessimistic album from
for
like
sure.
a writing standpoint.
For sure.
And when Nas was describing what AZ did for that, he was like, it gave a brink of hope for the album, and it was really one of the first positive points within the track list itself. Also, I'm not sure if you knew this, but AZ was not supposed to have a verse on here. He was only supposed to do the hook, and then once they heard the hook, they're like, bro, you got to go on this. And he did, and well, it's kind of like that that moment where you realize, hey man, like you're one of the greatest, bro, at this point in time.
It's one of those features where it's like every line matters, like everything.
Did you
is
check
meaningful.
the rhyme on this, by the way, from Genius?
I
You did the
did.
breakdown for before you did it. Yeah, it's absolutely gross.
It's stupid,
It's
bro.
a stupid verse. So
Like,
the fact
how are
that-
you rapping multi-syllabic rhyme schemes like in your first verse ever, bro? Like what?
No,
what are we
it's
doing
crazy.
here? And like one of the only rappers that could say that he out-rapped Nas as well, like that is absolutely insane. Also, one of the most referenced hooks of all time, bro.
Oh,
Because life's a bitch and then you die. Like, come on, bro.
And you know what? The fact that like Nas comes in for first too, but this is AZ's song. That to me is kind of crazy that you're talking about like the best rapper of all times, arguably like his best album, which is his best album, Illmatic. Some people say it was written. Life's a Bitch is one of the best songs on this track list, bro. And you really took it there. Like you have to be top 5 in this
100%.
conversation.
I want to talk about Capadonna on Winter Wars. This is one of those verses where you hear it for the first time, you're absolutely in awe just because of the length that he's going at. You're like, okay, he's going to keep going. And the breath control is super impressive. And what's absolutely insane to me is that this is what he claims. He says he freestyled the whole thing, which I don't know if I believe him. Like, it's that crazy of a verse, but there's pro-black themes throughout it, solid writing. It's really a lyrical exercise and him flexing his skills, but it's just the way that he runs through that verse. It's the best Wu-Tang Clan verse of all time to me, and I feel like the guys like Capadonna and Spectre Deck, they don't get the shine they deserve for being these lyrical wizards, bro.
There's some Inspector Deck features that I was going through. I'm like, man, I might have to consider this as well when I was doing the whole Wu dive in. But Andre 3K on Life of the Party, man, I've spoken about this fucking verse enough, dude. Like, you get it.
Life-changing. I had it at number 6.
I have it at number 2. I think it's one of the greatest moments of all
number
time.
2, wow.
I think it's one of the greatest moments of all time. On a hip hop record. That's just my opinion. And then after that, Eminem on Renegade. Easy.
Yeah, let's talk about Eminem on Renegade.
How about this? Better verse. Second or his first verse or a second?
Ooh.
Because he has verse 4, and then after that he has verse 2.
Fuck. I think I'm going to have to go with that first verse, bro. When he has the whole scheme of if the shoe fits, I'll wear it. The truth, grin and bear it. Like, it's 5 syllables that all rhyme, and he keeps that up for that entire verse.
I don't know, bro.
Bro, and adds internal rhymes into that scheme.
No,
like
the religious messaging in this in the
bro.
fourth verse is crazy. See, I'm a poet, some a regular day modern Shakespeare. Jesus Christ, the King of these latter, the saints here,
yeah.
to shadow the picture in which they paint me as. Like I can't even.
I think
properly.
flow wise and like maybe subject matter, it's better, but technicality wise, for me, the first verse wins.
While I'm waving the pistol at 60 Christians against me, go to war with the Mormons, take a bath with the Catholics in holy water. No wonder they try to hold me under longer.
And I love this
Crazy,
song
bro.
because it's Eminem telling like the world, get off my dick, bro. Like stop blaming me for your kids going off and doing stupid shit. Like I'm not gonna be the scapegoat anymore. Find someone else to point the finger at. This is entertainment,
Yeah,
bro.
and
I love what it stands for because from a subject matter standpoint, it's so refreshing. You've never heard Eminem or very few other rappers speak on this point.
Yeah, for sure. One of my favorite lines on this entire song, the new Ice Cube, motherfuckers hate to like you. I love that, bro. Such an inspirational line, actually. Renegade, number one.
Easy.
For
That
sure,
was the
the
easiest
easiest
call
one.
to make for this whole episode.
But you see, look at rhymes like this, bro, and you're like, how could you not have this guy in your top 10, bro? See, like, performances like this, bro. This guy has performances.
I know.
And they're by the dozen. They really are. So, guys, that's going to conclude today's list. Let us know, where did we get it right? Where did we get it wrong? And what's the next top 25 list that we should do? Thank you so much for watching this episode all the way till the end. We love you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.